Well, hello motorcycle fans, how's everyone doing? Okay, just a video reply really to Dazzle Rebel Ride's last video. After the intro. Right, yes, he did a video about Brandon Bicasso did a sort of challenge, and the challenge is what bikes would you like to ride, and I suppose this is a bit like a bucket list. So these are my 5 bikes. Right, the first one I would love to ride, and I've never had a chance to, is the original Kawasaki Z1, the 900, 1972. I think that bike was a game changer. I know the CB750, is it K0, K1, was a game changer. Became the first super bike, the first bike to be termed a super bike because of its 4 cylinders, electric start, etc, etc. But when Kawasaki launched their Z1 900, and I love the original one in the original candy orange and I suppose it's a burnt orange colour. Oh, what an amazing looking machine, and phenomenally fast. It was probably the fastest bike on earth at the time. I know by modern comparison it's probably a little bit ancient and it might feel a little bit dated, but I'm used to riding vintage machinery, so yeah, I think that'd be absolutely awesome. So the original Z1. And number 4 on the list would be my father's old bikes, and I only remember him having about 3 or 4. I know he was a big biker before I was born, but I think because of his age, when I came along he was about ready for retirement, so he hadn't got any big bikes. But I do remember fondly of his Lambretta TV200. Now, if you speak to Lambretta aficionados and you mention TV200, you see them start drooling and their eyes water, because apparently it was one hell of a scooter. My father's was like a white cream with a metallic green stripe on the side panels. Lovely looking thing. C-Reg I believe it was, so about 64, 65. And I would love to ride that. I've checked to see if it exists, and there's nothing on the database, so I assume it's died a death. I would certainly buy it if I could. And the other one I would like to have ridden of his, and I'll flash a photo, but I'm not actually sure what bike it is. It's a BSA. Is it an A7, A10, Shooting Star? I don't know, probably somebody will be able to tell me, but that bike, because it's a motorbike rather than a scooter, yes, but it's something I can't remember. That was pre-me. So yes, I'd like to ride that, or the Lambretta, which obviously I pillioned on quite a bit. Now my next choice is one that actually Daz actually mentioned himself, was an original Indian Chief. Now, one of my favourite bikes, and I've said in previous videos, it's something that I absolutely adore. I love that balanced mudguard. That's the reason I bought my Drifter a few years ago. And I think the Kawasaki Drifter is a little more akin to the original Indian Chief in the size and the weight and everything. Smaller than the big Chiefs, which are beautiful bikes, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, a 1953, 54, whenever I was, just before they finished, that would be absolutely awesome. But yes, with the left-hand throttle and the suicide shift, I imagine it's a bit of a work of art to actually ride one of those. But yes, that one. They did, yes. The police has used them so they could use the throttle and shoot with the right hand. Yeah, they did. I think if I had one, I'd switch everything over. No, I wouldn't actually. I'd keep it the same. Right, for my number 2 would be Kevin Schwann's RG500 in either the Pepsi one or the Lucky Strike. And Lucky Strike was his World Championship one, I believe, which he actually preferred to ride out of the two. I think it handled better, and whether I could ride it sufficiently good to not stall it all over the place or scare myself silly, I honestly don't know, but what a thing to try. I love the old two-stroke 500 race bikes. I think they were a bit special. Animals, but they were special. So yes, I would love to ride that model RG. And the top of the tree, number 1, the bike I would love to ride the most would be Captain America's Chopper from the film Easy Rider. Now I know they built, was it 2 or 3 bikes, and none of them exist. They're either stolen or destroyed. But there are a few replicas. There was a company that made them a few years ago, and they do come up on eBay every now and again, but they're around about 18,000, so it's a bit too rich for my budget. I suppose I could sell half my bikes and buy one, but I'm sure it's an absolutely horrendous thing to ride because it's so stretched out and the bars are so high. But it's a film that affected me quite a lot when I was young. Thought the whole thing was absolutely fantastic, and I was only young when I saw it, 16 or something, 17. It wasn't when it was out. I think it was re-released in the early 70s, but it blew me away. Both of those choppers absolutely fantastic, but the Captain America one with its chrome frame, and oh, what a bike. So yep, that's the top of my list. Anyway, so if anybody else wants to do Dazzle Rebel rides or Brandon Bicasso's top 5 bikes, you're more than welcome to join in. Okay, motorcycle fans, you take care. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.